So have something to watch. All right. So the recording's going. Welcome, friends, to the Stealth Persuasion webinar. That is the capturing the emotions and money of your website visitors. It's going to be some great information tonight. And again, I just started the recording, so this will be recorded in case you missed it or do you want to pass it along to some people or some friends. I just did this presentation last Saturday live. I thought that was great at Tom's Butt Camp. So I'll talk about that a little bit in just a minute. But we're going to go ahead and get going here, and we're going to have a nice Q&A at the end. So if you don't understand anything, you can save your questions till the end, and I'll have a live Q&A, and I'll answer all your questions and make sure that no one leaves with any question unanswered. So let's talk about stealth persuasion. What is persuasion content? Well, really, it's emotional words that you use to help sell products online, touching the hearts and hearts and minds of your visitors so that they trust you and build credibility for your business. It's also customer-focused words. That means talking about them and addressing their problems more so than talking about yourself, and I'll show you exactly how to do that tonight. Also, words that educate. Education is a huge selling point. When people feel that they're being sold to, they put up resistance. When they feel like they're being educated, they have more power to make a better decision. And also identifying benefits. I'm going to show you benefits in here that you may not think are the ones that are the strongest. We think money and fancy cars and lifestyle and things like this are the benefits that we're all looking for, especially in information products and coaching, but it's not. So I'm going to point out those for you tonight as well. Look at this number. It's huge, and it's 644 million plus websites out there. That's how many active websites there was. This is from 2013, I believe, from Netcraft Reporting Agency. Wow, okay, before you freak out and think that that's way too many websites and I'm never going to get any traction, I'm never going to get above my competition, consider this. The good news about that is 99% of these sites have content that is dull, boring, or too salesy, basically garbage. Okay, the other 1%, possibly even less, in my opinion, touch the hearts and minds of its visitors. These are the ones that my community has. These are the ones that you're here to change your content if need be, or create content that does stand above your competition. Why? Because they'll tell compelling stories with content that relates to three key things that I'm going to point out tonight that matter most to your reader and your website visitor. These sites that touch the hearts and minds of their visitors make money, and better yet, they change lives. And I know that that's the most important thing for the people on this webinar tonight. So we're going to show you how to do that. Here's some common misconceptions, and I call them misconceptions rather than mistakes because these are things that are that we just overlook, that are very easy, that almost all of us make whenever we're creating content for websites, regardless of what it is or what industry we're in. And a few common misconceptions that we have. First is to overload our visitors with information. We're smart, we all have these degrees, and we are very capable of talking about our business, so we like to over-explain ourselves a bit much and overload with our visitor with too much information that can be detrimental. Another thing is it should be too perfect, like a brochure or some kind of corporate presentation or some kind of university dissertation. Websites should be an extension of your handshake, your personality, your essence, and they don't have to be perfect. They just need to be perfectly you. Okay? Writing in third person creates a huge disconnect between you and your reader. This is your chance to reach out to your visitor that's looking for help with a virtual handshake, is what I call it, just as if you were talking to them one-on-one in your office or at a restaurant or any kind of intimate situation. So writing in third person, when you're typically talking to one of your clients or a prospect, you don't have someone talking for you, like an intermediary. So don't write like that. So that's something that we tend to do. For some reason, I have no idea why, but we'll learn to change that. And then also telling the visitor what to do. Being pushy and salesy can create a resistance, especially early on in the process, that we end up spending the rest of the time we're marketing to them breaking down the wall. I'm going to show you tricks tonight that bring your visitor and reader into the website so you don't have to spend any time breaking down the walls of resistance. They're already in love with you. Well, who am I in case you don't know me? If you don't know me, that's all right. I'll fix that in just a minute. But if you do, lucky. My name is Colin Martin, and I was Tom Antion's former marketing manager for over 6 years, the big internet marketing guru guy. Worked side by side with Tom for 6 years, and you can see in these pictures here that Tom is completely no fun at all. Just kidding, he's always having fun. And he's a laugh right, but I did learn pretty much everything from him. And I'm now the former marketing manager. I'm also the former head instructor of Tom Andion's Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia, the only school of its kind in the entire country dedicated to teaching internet marketing techniques in a professional university setting. Well, why am I the former head instructor? Okay, I wasn't caught by Tom robbing the place. I wasn't found on a curb drunk or hungover or anything like this. I didn't abuse his customers. I took I'm going to quit working for you, and I'm going to take 10 weeks, and I'm going to go off into the deep wilderness to meditate, to learn what I wanted to do the rest of my life, to focus on my life, to cure my type 2 diabetes, to lose weight, to be healthy. These are all the things that I did, and I took off in that little pup tent you can see up there in the right, in the top left corner, that little tiny 6-foot pup tent. I saw beautiful waterfalls, just gorgeous, and I went to the western mountains of western North Carolina and spent 6 weeks in total contemplation, coming up with some of the things I'm going to teach you tonight. And of course, that wasn't the only thing I did. I actually went there to mine for rubies, emeralds, aquamarine, and tourmaline, and sapphires, and all these beautiful things you can see there in the pictures. Look at the giant take of beautiful gemstones that I found at abandoned mines all over western North Carolina. That is my true passion. And now, how did I take off for 10 weeks? Without work, without the internet, without a cell phone, away from everyone, with nothing but a pup tent and a can of beans. How did I do that without going broke? Well, some of the things I'm going to show you tonight involve ongoing conversions and website success principles that afforded me to do that. Why? So that you can do a dream trip or any kind of dream at all. The internet can work for you, maybe for the first time ever, so that you can have a dream of your own that you'd like to make come true. Well, since I've been back, I've become a master sales letter copywriter and website content copywriter and coach. And some of these great sales letters here, as you can see, some of them I wrote for Tom, have made over $1 million in sales. And many of these I've written, people didn't know that I wrote them because I wrote them for somebody else, or what we call ghostwriting. And a lot of them were for Tom's products. So you may have bought something from one of these big guru people that I actually wrote the letter to. So in the news, well, I didn't get a chance to update the slides here, so I did speak at Tom Andion's Butt Camp last Saturday and Sunday in Virginia Beach, and that was a lot of fun. Of course, if you remember my webinar from last week, I was deathly ill with the norovirus, or some kind of horrible flu, which I didn't eat for days. I was totally sick and feverish, and I did this presentation. I don't remember it now, so I'm afraid that I might have said something silly, but it made a bunch of money. Everybody bought stuff at the end, but I don't really remember what in the world happened. And of course, another one of my clients at my personal coaching program just won Best Business Website for corporate intern staffing. So I'm really proud of those accomplishments, and there's a lot more going on this year. This has been a big blast of year so far. What can we expect from this webinar tonight? I want to make a promise to you, and I will keep that. Learn the words that push emotional triggers. I've got a bunch of them, and I'm going to show them to you here in just a moment. Also, I'm going to point out the benefits that visitors really care about the most. They may not be what you believe all this time that they are, and how to eliminate sales resistance. We touched on that, about how you need to eliminate that up front in the process. And also, I'm going to have a popular Q&A at the end, so no one's left behind with any questions. And I'm also going to show you my 3 secret formulas that I've spent a lot of time developing and are really neat. The super awesome benefits identifier formula. I know that's a mouthful, but trust me, it's very easy to understand. What I'll show you here in just a minute. Also, the wee calculation formula, a free online tool that has nothing to do with going to the bathroom, but it's actually a device that shows you whether you're talking about yourself too much as opposed to talking about your customer. Very interesting. I'll show you an example of that. And then the love conflict secret formula, something I came up with when I was way out in the wilderness, deep in meditation. And of course, if you see the smiling face, my smiling face, that little picture of me that was just recently taken at a mall photo booth of my smiling face, that means it's going to be a super stealthy trick, and you want to write it down in blood, lipstick, ink, whatever it is, and take note that it is something very important. Tom says he's getting a black box blocking the lower right hand of the screen. Is that on your end? No, I don't really see that, Tom. Never seen that before. So I'm not really sure what to say there. I hope that clears up for you. If anyone has any questions about the process here with GoToWebinar, as Tom just did, you can write in the chat box any questions about GoToWebinar. We have a lot of people on the night. GoToWebinar is a little finicky, so try to be patient with some of the little glitches that come in and out. But other than that, it will also be recorded in case you can't stick around all the way to the end. But we're going to learn a lot of stuff tonight, so stick with me. All right, but don't fear. Writing can be very fearful, to say the least. People are scared to write. Public speaking, number 1, fear. Death, number 2. I think writing's probably number 3 in terms of the fear, and there's a reason for that. It's because we're pouring ourselves out in our writing, and then we're having the world read it, and it can mean that we're exposing ourselves. But one sports writer, I can't remember his name at the moment, he said it's like opening a vein every time he sat down to write. And I have to agree with that. It can be quite scary, but don't fear. I can make it easy, and I want to show you the elements about yourself that you should be writing about, that you're proud of, that make you stand out from the other people, such as your personal story, your personal essence, and your passions about what you do and how you can relate that to your visitor that you don't even know personally, and make it an easy transition. But of course, before we get into that, I want to give away a free gift. I did promise a free gift. I'm going to give out my little black box of autoresponders. It's a 10-template email autoresponder system that you just basically read it, plug in your industry, and now you have 10 powerful autoresponder messages that go out when somebody opts in that drive people back to your website into the hands of your service and products. And if somebody wants that tonight, all you have to do is jump in and say, yes, I'll take it. And in the meantime, I will have to get a pen and paper here and see who wants this free autoresponder program. It's a $47 value. So if you want the free gift, John was the first one to jump in. Tom says, yes, he likes it too. Greg, take one. Deborah's going to take one. Marianne, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Okay, it's blasting off. I guess let me close my eyes here, and I'm just going to psychically pick somebody from the list here. And I do believe that it's Greg. Greg Kaya, C-A-Y-A. I'm going to write that down. Hold on. Since I don't have a piece of pen, I'm going to open up Notepad. I'm going to put in Greg. And, of course, I'll have your information, Greg, on that. And I'm going to go ahead and take note of that. Connie, I'm not sure what that says. Well, I think she started on the bottle way early. You're funny, Connie. I love it. Don says, yes, I'll take it. Thanks, Don. Okay. All right. Well, look, I gave it away to Greg, but I'm going to offer another one in the middle, and I'm also going to offer a couple more at the very end right before the Q&A, so you have to stick around for that. So hang in there. This won't take very long. Okay. So congratulations, Greg, on that. Why is emotional content important? First off, it builds rapport, trust, and credibility. It also brings your visitors back to your site, which is a big deal because you don't want people leaving and never coming back again. When content is really good, they'll tend to come back and keep reading, and they'll subscribe to your site, especially if you have a blog. It also keeps visitors on your site longer. Nobody stays on a site that has boring content, but if it's interesting, they keep reading. It also tears down the wall of sales resistance very early in the process to help build a bridge of trust and credibility for you so that the resistance comes down and the sales go up. Let's talk about the new rules of search. Now, all of this content that we're going to discuss tonight has everything to do with high search positioning and keeping people or keeping Google high in the search results, keeping your site high in the search results. We talk about keywords all the time and how a website can find you to get high search results, but Google's not going to let you stay high in the search results if your content stinks. And the first thing is what they're going to start to do, and this is all about the penguin and panda stuff, is that Google will ban low content websites. And straight off, if it just stinks, they're going to start banning it. Because basically people don't want to read stuff they get in search results that aren't relevant to what they were searching for, and Google knows that. And the searcher is their customer. So no longer are they just going to let a lot of crummy websites keep going up that doesn't have real content. Well, that doesn't apply to us, I know, so it'll be fine, and tonight you'll learn how. Content people share will go viral. Obviously, if you want your stuff to go viral, and you see that all the time, you have to have the ability to share it. And well, people won't share crummy content. Okay? Websites that build community will stay higher in the search listings. Okay? And that includes forums and comments. And also higher search results for websites people like. That's how Google's going to reward you. If people like your site, you'll get to stay higher and grow higher in the search results. Well, that's a funny question. How does Google know what you like? How does it know what anyone likes? Well, Google knows how often that people return to a site. They also know when you leave comments. They also know when you use the share buttons. See those share buttons there? Something all of us should have on our site. And also, Google knows how long you stay on a site. Well, why would anyone want to share or leave comments or come back to a site and stay on a site if the content is crummy? Well, they don't. So having good content that's persuasive and emotional, that really touches the hearts and minds of your visitor, is the key to the new high search results. No longer are we going to be able to game the system with keywords and expect to stay in the search results. We will be rewarded for having content that people really love. Also, take a look at the share buttons down here. Let me take a drink of water real quick. Wine, excuse me. And see the share buttons, they also have numbers next to them that start to build as people share. That creates the illusion that people have been to your site. It's not an illusion, actually, but you're advertising the fact that people are sharing your content, and it creates what we call social proof. So if you don't have the share buttons on there, you really need to install those, and they're just free plugins for WordPress, and also they're free codes that you can get for your regular website. So that's something that you need to do to help people pass along the content. Persuading your visitors. Persuasion content means understanding your prospect. It means understanding why they're there in the first place. It also means understanding their pain and their problems. And it means offering solutions to those pains and to that pain and problems, not just more information. If you take anything away from this seminar tonight, out of all of this, take away this one thing here. You're not offering more information. Your key to success is not offering more information on your website. It is offering solutions to problems, period. Okay? That's it. The more instantaneous solutions you offer to problems people were searching for that they can use right now immediately to better their life, you have just created a powerful, persuasive content building website that will make a lot of money where people won't go anywhere else. The way you can do this is to educate your prospect. The educated consumer will pay more for a product or service than one who doesn't know or doesn't care. Your website content and the words you use are the building blocks that your visitor can use to create success for themselves. When your prospect can make a more informed decision about things like how your product works or your service works, how your product or service can improve their lives, how your business is unique or different than your competition, and how you improved your own life with your knowledge that you're trying to sell to them, their trust in you will go through the roof, and you won't just build followers or customers out of your prospects. You will build raving fans. So you want to educate your prospect, because here's the biggie here. Educating your prospect empowers them. It paints a picture of what their life will be like if their problem is solved. And here's a couple of ways to do that. Here's some catchphrases I'm giving you tonight that you can put in your copy that make it clear that you're educating your prospect. Words like, here's what you need to know. Here's why this is important to you. That's a very, very powerful phrase to start something out with. You'll understand more clearly when you read this. And a couple of other ones that give the idea that you care, that you're alerting them to an educational process. They feel better about the fact that you care that much to make them informed. Okay, we all do. Also, these phrases are highly suggestive. Something like, here's why this is important to you, actually perks someone up before you're just about to say something important. So educating your prospect is a biggie part of persuasive and stealthy content. Here's some common mistakes to avoid, and I'm going to get to them right now. One is avoid generalizations. We're going to talk to our visitor as if we're talking one-on-one, and we're going to use words that single them out and put them in a place where they can visualize a process taking place. So we don't want to use generalizations. We want to make it personal. So a client sent in this content here, and they asked me to rewrite it for them. So they wrote, our weight loss system has helped thousands of women just like you to lead healthier and happier lives. Okay, it's not that bad. I thought it was, that's pretty good. But I thought, well, maybe we shouldn't talk about thousands of women just like you. Why don't we talk about a real person that had a real experience and see if they could relate to that one single person. So I wrote this. Butterflies of excitement ran through Lisa's body when she stepped on the scale this morning. Our product had really worked. When's the last time you felt that way? So let's take a look at what I did here. Instead of talking about thousands of women, I identified a certain person, just a fictional character called Lisa. And then I talked about an experience that she really had. Instead of just leading healthier and happier lives, we talked about stepping on the scale and how it was exciting to see that she'd lost weight, because that's a real thing that people can feel. And then I ended it with a question, when's the last time you felt that way, so that it would kind of keep the conversation going. So I'm asking for an affirmation at the end. So I sent that back, and they put that into place, and there was a 22% increase in their weight loss system, and I was really proud of that. Another thing we want to do is avoid the process or over-explaining how everything works. Again, express just the benefits that they really care about. So a client sent me this little piece of copy here. Our new technology will clean your carpets with more power and reliability. Super Clean does the job that others can't. Typical ad, not too great, not too horrible, I guess, but they asked me, Colin, can you fix it? So I rewrote something like this. Fresh, clean carpets for your children to play on and more time to spend with them? Yes, Super Clean can do all of that. Okay, let's take a look at what I did here. I talked about two things that matter most to people, the benefits that really matter. Their family and time. The two things that they would spend everything in the world to protect or to have more of. And I threw that into the copy so that we're not talking about suction and power and volume units and just how powerful this vacuum can come in and literally suck the carpet right out of your townhouse. We're talking about, what does clean carpets really do? It gives you time to spend with your family, and it makes a healthier environment. Those are the benefits that really matter to people. When I sit back and they used it, there was a 32% increase in new customers, and I was really happy about that. So I appreciate that and was really proud of that too. Another one that we have here is to avoid hype. Now we see this all the time, avoid being hypey and salesy, and to focus on comforts, okay? I had a client send me this piece of copy, make $21,000 a day with this proven system of internet affiliate websites. 100,030 customers can't be wrong, okay? Well, I thought that I could rewrite that a little bit better, so I thought about, well, I don't want to be part of 130,000 people, you know, $21,000 a day, that sounds like a lot of responsibility. It also sounds a little too good to be true. Even if it is, it's really kind of pushing the envelope in believability. So I decided to write, again, using a fictional character in a setting that really matters and that the visitor can identify with. Bob no longer worries about being fired. The lifestyle he's created with our affiliate income websites has given him freedom, peace of mind. So what I've done here is identified a single individual instead of thousands and thousands. I talked about a fear that people have, being fired. And I talked about what's the real benefit of running your own business and being financially secure. It's freedom and peace of mind, something that most people don't have and can't afford. So I took away from the unbelievable hype and put it in a more personal situation. And when I did that, there was a 44% increase in the click-through rates for the sign-up squeeze page. I was very proud of that. What are the real benefits? We're talking about benefits that I just discussed: peace, freedom, time, family. These are the benefits that people really care about the most. It's time, family, and freedom are the three biggest ones in my opinion. And then, of course, peace, things like dreams and hope, comfort, ego and prestige, just a lifestyle, basically. And, oh, Deborah wants me to go back to the last slide. Okay, I'll go back to the last slide. This is about focusing on hope. And remember, the guys, this will be recorded, and I have the slides as a downloadable PDF. So anytime you watch the recording, you can see the slides through here, so you don't have to sit through the entire recording. But Deborah, they'll be available tomorrow, the slides. And I appreciate you taking the notes. Thank you. So the real benefits here, and here's the smiley face, so you want to make sure that you pay attention. These are the things. It's not money, really, and it's not having big fancy cars, and it's not the things that stress us out, and it's not the hypey and salesy things that most of us see on internet ads or ads anywhere for that matter. It's the things that money can't buy, basically, and these are the things that create an emotional trigger in the response of your customers. So I like to take 2 or 3 of these. When I start to write my copy, you want to be reminded of these 8 benefits and make sure that you have them on hand just when you're about to write copy, or even go through the copy that you already have and make sure that you've added words that reflect these benefits. And this is called the identifier formula here. So I'll just take, let's say, two or 3 of these. I'll take 3 of these: freedom, peace, and comfort. Those are 3 that I want to express in my copy for a blog post or an opt-in or a Facebook post or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And whenever I'm rewriting copy for a client, I'll always grab a few of these and have them handy, and I'll color code them like this. So I was sent this piece of copy from this juice client, which was really interesting. It's really good stuff. And they wrote, "We've been so pleased with how popular the juice has been that we got back into the kitchen. They've made some delicious juice blends, which I think everyone will enjoy just as much." Actually, I kind of liked that copy. It wasn't that bad. I like it because it sounds personal, because it sounds like somebody's going into the kitchen and actually with their hands making this juice blend. And, you know, in today's automated industrial kind of stuff, and it sounds really neat. So I was really actually kind of proud with what they'd done. And they were talking about themselves and how they care about the juice and, you know, all this stuff. But I thought it was missing something. So I took my identifier formula of freedom, peace, and comfort, and I wanted to throw in some words. And you can see the color-coded them. So I put these in. You can choose from our delicious apple and raspberry recipe or totally tasty tropical, depending on whether you need to be transported to a serene country orchard or a desert island. And all I simply did was take the same benefits of a tasty juice, and I used freedom, peace, and comfort to try to transport the reader to a different place. If you can transport visually the reader or website visitor to a different place in their mind, and they can actually see it take place, then you are lowering the sales resistance as they go through the process of making their buying decision, because they're basically have been hypnotized into another place. And it also, I've thrown in words here that make that, according to the benefits, that really make people feel good, that really matters to them. It's not really important to them whether the kitchen is high-tech or low-tech or how delicious everything is, but it's whether they have choices. It's whether it's peaceful. It's whether that makes them feel comfortable. It's whether it takes them to another place. And that worked really well for them, and they were really happy with that rewrite. But right here, I want to point out something that's kind of sneaky that I changed that you may not notice. And I'm wondering if any one of you out there can notice something very important that in the rewrite that's different than the original piece of copy. If you can see it, I'm going to point it out in just a second, but if you can see it, go ahead and pop it into the chat box and tell me if there's something that stands out that's a little different Deborah says popular to delicious. That's pretty close. Greg says choose. Yeah, that's obvious. It's something that I haven't pointed out quite yet. Everyone's saying choose. Okay, from we to you. That's it, Marianne. Very good. Watch this. The original copy talked about we 3 times, and I rewrote it without we in it, and I talked about you. You, and stating the word you, is what's called an outward marketing technique, and it's called customer-focused words. Inward marketing or self-centered words contain too much of we, our, and I. Outward marketing means reaching out and bringing the prospect into your realm by using you and yours. A friend of mine said he went to salesman school a long time ago and was asked to give a presentation, and every time he said the word we or I, people would ring a bell just to get him used to not saying it anymore. And these are called customer-focused words. It's just like dating, my friends. If you go out on your first date and you talk too much about yourself, what happens? You don't get the second date. It's always good to say, how are you feeling? What are your dreams? Asking the person and making them feel important. You want to talk about your customer 2 times or even more as often as you talk about yourself. Now, obviously you can't go in and it's hard to go in and count these things and do a physical count and then take a calculator and try to divide all of this stuff. I have a secret online tool that's so cool. I'm going to show it to you right now, and it's over at futurenowinc.com/wewetext.htm. Now, I know that's a long URL, but it will be in the slides. And Deborah, somebody asked where the slides are going to be, and yes, they will be downloadable tomorrow in an email. It's going to be a PDF of the slides, and you can download it right from a replay page. I'll send that to everyone tomorrow. But the wewetext.htm, I'm going to go over to that right now, and I'm going to show you exactly how this thing works. So we're going to go over, and I have it to this right here. This is the wewetext, and you can just paste any copy you want into this box, and it'll tell you exactly how many times you're talking about yourself compared to everyone else. And I happen to have a sales letter here, which is extremely important, which is a sales letter is meant for selling, so you want to make sure this is right. And this is for Tom Antion's brand new group coaching program he's releasing that I haven't ever even told anyone about until right now. So pretend I didn't say anything. And this is a brand new sales letter, so I want to test the copy on this. So you just take anything. It can be a web copy, it can be opt-in page, it can be a blog post, it can be anything in the world. And I'm going to paste it in, and I'm just going to get the score, test your WeWe score. You guys have to see this. This is awesome. And you give it a second to think. Your customer focus rate is 85% to self-focus rate of 14%. I talk about the customer 6 times as much as I talk about myself. Excellent. In a sales letter. One of the most important pieces of copy to make a high sales conversion with. This will work with anything, all your homepage copy. And remember this, my friends, your about page, even though it's about you, should actually have customer-centered words, customer-focused words in it, so that not only are you just talking about yourself in your About Me page, you're talking about how you can help your customer in your About Me page, okay? So even test your About Me page on your website and make sure that you're talking at least 2 times or more. It's a fantastic, totally free, and it's a lot of fun, and you can go use it tonight. Don't use it right now, but use it after the webinar and go test some of this stuff on your website, and you'll be amazed at the things that you can do with this. It's a lot of fun. So let's go back to this here and be moving along. So that's the WeWe generator. Okay, I want to talk about 2 powerful elements of persuasive stealth copy that a lot of people use. Gurus use, the big the big high $1 million sales gurus use. And I came up with this formula here while I was out in the woods meditating all this time. I think after about 2 days of meditation and starvation, I came up with this beautiful theory here. But we've all been to creative writing classes, and there's 3 parts to basic story, which is called love, conflict, and resolution. It's kind of like a roller coaster. It starts out, and then it raises to a conflict, and then it ends. So it's 3 parts to creative writing. Here's a typical story using this formula here. Barbara was walking to school. She's a wonderful student. She loves dogs. She has a great family. All her friends love her. Teachers love her. She has got a great boyfriend. She's thinking about getting married in the fall. And then the conflict comes up. She was walking to school one day, and this van drives up with 2 big thugs in it. They pull up. They throw a bag over her head, and they throw her in the van, and it takes off. Then the resolution is Dad tracks down the bad guys, bursts into the abandoned warehouse, beats up the bad guys, rescues the daughter, and takes her back home. Perfect story. Very simple. We've seen it all before. In fact, it was the script to Taken with Liam Neeson, and Taken 2 pretty much too. So it's your typical story. Well, creative writing's fun like that, and ads do the same thing. So they follow the same kind of thing: a love, a conflict, and a call to action. A typical ad would be something like, your house is your biggest investment. You spend all this time with your family in it, and your dog, and you have much pride and curb appeal in your beautiful place. But then here's the conflict: a flood comes through and wipes everything out. Your house is ruined. The call to action is, go to Serpro, and they'll come and suck everything out and fix it so that you can get back to your life again. Okay? So they've used the same formula as creative writing to basically create ads. Nothing wrong with that. But here's what I've discovered. Love, conflict, and a call to action. Typical ad elements. But 2 of these are all you need for powerful copy. 1 of these creates an immediate resistance in the mind of the reader. Now, out of love, conflict, or call to action, which one would you take away to lower the resistance and sales resistance of a piece of copy? Greg says call to action. Vicky says love. That's funny. Barbara says conflict. Go ahead and put it in the chat box. Which one would you take away and only leave the two elements that create the most powerful copy imaginable? Perdita says conflict. Deborah said love. John says conflict. These are good. These are good answers. Okay, I appreciate everyone pitching in on that. I want to tell you a story right now. Kay says conflict. Okay. Thank you for piping in. I want to share with this story here of a blind beggar that over in Ireland or someplace. And you may have seen this on YouTube. It's a really popular video called The Power of Words. And he sat there all the time, and he begged for money each and every day. He needed it to pay for a room and some food. Well, people kept ignoring him, and they'd go about their day and just laughing. And he put the sign out that says, "I'm blind, please help." Well, people just ignored it. They walked on past, and he could hear the people walking past. And nobody really wanted to help him. Then one day this lady came by, and she looked down at the sign. She'd seen him there before, and she walked back and forth to her office during her lunchtime. And she looked at the sign, and then she picked it up, and she started writing something. She kept writing and writing, and the beggar was blind, but he could smell her perfume, and he knew that he'd run across her before, that she came through there on a regular basis. Well, he didn't know what she was writing, so she puts the sign back down, and she goes back to lunch. All of a sudden, people started giving. You could hear the coins hitting the cardboard, and people started giving and giving more. He didn't know what had happened, but he could tell something was up. People keep giving, and they kept giving all afternoon, and they kept giving all for the rest of the day. He even could feel the can, and the weight of the can meant that he could sleep good and eat good that night. It's full of coins. Well, about 5:15, she comes walking back. She comes walking back through the court, and he smells her perfume. And he asks, "What did you do to my sign?" And she leans over and tells him, "I didn't do anything. I rewrote it. It's the same sign. I just used different words." Okay, what words did she write on the sign that made that huge difference in everyone giving? That's right. It's a beautiful day, and I can't see it. Now, from that story I just told you, which one of these would you now remove? Would it be love, conflict, or call to action? Go ahead and write in the chat box. I'll give you a second while I take another sip of wine. Really beautiful story. Perdita says call to action. Vicky says call to action. Deborah says call to action. Connie says call to action. Deborah. John says remove the can. Call to action. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, everyone got it. It was quite obvious that the call to action was the problem here, and let me show you why. His sign, there's nothing wrong with that. He wrote, "I'm blind, please help," but nobody gave anything because it had a conflict and a call to action. Her sign was love, it's a beautiful day, and conflict, and I can't see it. And people gave like crazy. Now I want to ask everyone here, without a call to action, how did anyone know what to do? It seems obvious that we have to tell someone or have a strong call to action for people to understand what to do. But without it, they unequivocally knew what to do. How is that possible? Connie says common sense. Perdita says it's just, they just know. Yeah, those are good answers. And John says they can. I love that. Okay, you're funny. Heartstrings, Deborah says, absolutely. Here's why. The love conflict formula is a call to reaction creates an immediate sales resistance for many visitors. Telling and barking at people what to do creates a sales resistance. Love, the story, brings resistance down. And the conflict makes them anxious and emotional to discover the solution or to take action without them having for you to tell them to do it. So how in the world can you work that into headlines and copy and sales text and tweets and things in your own copy using this exact love and conflict formula and lead your prospects to the proper choices and trusting them to make the right decisions? Well, I have this formula here, and you can see it's broken into two parts. The first one is love, just like her sign, and the second one is conflict. And the reaction or conversion that takes place when somebody reads this is whatever you want it to be. It's either a conversion from just turning the page, clicking on a link, reading further down the sales letter, or signing up, or making money. Okay? Let's take a look at a few of these headlines that kind of get people's curiosity built here to read further or to take a certain action. One of these, our product can help people. Your product can help people, but no one's buying it. Another one, if the real estate market is recovering, why will 48% of agents lose their job this year? That I actually sent out as a direct copy piece to realtors here in the Virginia Beach, Norfolk Tidewater area. That was huge in conversion. And the other one that my client had sent out previously about just make more money selling more homes, nobody ever called. But when I woke to the fear and conflict here, the idea was for them to make the phone call, and it was a huge conversion. I met the soulmate of my dreams, then he disappeared without a trace. Why? I want to know more. This builds curiosity, and it builds a conversion-friendly lead for further investigation. Often a bridesmaid, never a bride. That's an old standard. You're so in love with your boyfriend, but he just left you for another woman. Now, if I saw that, and that had happened to me, I would have to read further. Notice none of these have a direct call to action that tells the visitor what to do. but the curiosity of it would keep them going further through the process. You're a great public speaker and you're not making any money. That can work for any industry. And here's one that I used for an opt-in for a nutritionist client of mine. Excuse me. You're exercising and feeling great, but you're slowly dying inside. That is all she put on this, and it was a link to a free ebook, and people went crazy buying it because they wanted to know what they were dying of, and they figured she had the answer. So this is the love conflict formula. It's been tested over and over for the last year or so, and the conversions have been through the roof on this. So if I want you to take a few minutes here while I get another drink, just still getting over my flu here, and try one for yourself in your industry. I'm going to give away another autoresponder training system to someone who has the love and conflict. So take a second and write this down and try one for All right, I'll give everybody just a minute, but I see something really good. I'm going to give 2 autoresponder programs away to 2 of the ones that seem like you guys are getting it. Connie says, you love the outdoors, but fear keeps you inside. Oh, I like that. I like that. And she says that's for her woman safety books. Very interesting. Very interesting, Connie. I like that a lot. Let's try a couple more out there. A friend of mine named Starley Murray, very famous celebrity building coach. She wrote a good one. It said something about you want to get your message out to the world, but your fear of being on camera is keeping you is getting in the way. And that was pretty neat. I liked that. So let's just spend another minute or two writing a few more. Deborah says you've got cash in the bank, but it's losing value fast. Nice. And that's for the gold market. That's excellent. You're doing a very good job here. Let's get a couple more in. So far, I'm going to be giving away the autoresponder program to Connie and Deborah. So whoever's got another one wants to try it, go ahead. See if you are understanding the love and conflict formula. So I'm just going to give you another minute. Yeah, these are really good. I'm so glad that this is making sense to you. So I appreciate it. And this really does work. So any more out there? Guys, go ahead and try one for yourself. I do like the exercise and feeling great, but you're slowly dying inside. That worked out really well for my last client. All right. Connie and Deborah, I'm going to write your names down here, and I'm going to award you guys the autoresponder training system. Deborah says, can I use that exercising one too? Absolutely. Any of these are you can use for yourself. In fact, anything that you see in this entire webinar, you can plug these in. So Deborah Arnett. Never mind the spelling. And Connie Cooper. You guys are going to get the autoresponder training program. Marianne said, if you think you're a great leader, why is no one following you? That's good. That's definitely a conflict. I like these. You guys are doing great with these. You really get it. All right. We moving along. Thank you for piping in, everyone. With those were excellent suggestions. Excellent suggestions. At this point, it's getting a little late here, so I just want to ask you if I kept my promise tonight. And my promise was I was going to show you what Google wants to see in website content, so I hope I did that. Also, did I show you how a call to action creates sales resistance with the blind beggar story there? Also, did I show you how love and conflict can be persuasive? That was pretty much the blind story too. Plus, did I increase your customer-centered words? I'll show you the free wee tool. I know you guys are going to be excited about that. Deborah says yes. Vicky says yes. Bob says yes. Brian says yes. Awesome. Marianne says yes. Awesome. And simply put, thank you. Deborah says yes, yes. Awesome. Also, did I show you the benefits that are most important? It isn't money. It's time and family and peace and freedom. Kay says yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And also, I have to ask you, was I cute and funny? I always hope I'm cute and funny. Connie says, this will help my sales letter and website. Excellent. Deborah says, yes, I was cute and funny. Thank you. Marianne says, adorable. Vicky says, she loves me. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Connie says, absolutely cute and funny. Kay says, yes, adorable. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, guys. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. All right. I could have talked about all this all night. I love talking about copy. What I do best, I absolutely love teaching everyone here in my community how to create more sales, or how to create more stealthy and persuasive content to increase the sales to the website. But more than that, it's to increase your essence to people and to help people help themselves. These are the real reasons we became the experts that we did, not to sit in an ivory tower kind of ignoring everyone, but to reach out and make a difference in the world. And the website's the perfect place to do that. So Deborah says, I can't wait to put this into practice. Thank you guys so much. What else do you need to know? There's so much I could have covered. I could have stayed here all night, but obviously it's getting late. I know. I want to thank you for your time tonight, for being here. You could have been watching TV with your family and friends, but you decided to watch this webinar to help with your business, and that makes me know that you're serious about your business. I appreciate that. One of the things that I like to talk about is writing in a conversational tone. Also, building a persona. How do you create a brand for yourself using stealth and emotional content? Framing yourself as an expert. You can talk about yourself all you want, but what are the words that people can use to help them say that you're an expert, for them to build you as the expert to their community? Very powerful stuff. Also, there are secret ways to lead your visitors step by step to results for your website to guide them gently to the conversion that you want. I could have talked about that all night. I didn't get to video scripts, and one thing I really want to talk to about you tonight is the video scripts and how important that is. I'm working with a lot of clients to create a very powerful and persuasive video script for your opening website page and even YouTube videos or whatever you want to do with it, but they follow a specific formula that get people to take action now. And also, how do you build a fanship? How do you build all these followers and friends? What is it that people are saying on Facebook and Twitter that makes it so interesting that they have tens and hundreds of thousands of fans and followers? What is that exactly? Well, all of those things can be found in the Stealth Persuasion Workshop, and this entire Stealth Persuasion webinar was brought to you tonight by the Stealth Persuasion Workshop. And what the workshop is, it's 12 exclusive webinar workshop recordings, and I have a Q&A coming up here in just about a minute, so you want to stick with that in case you have any questions about anything that you saw in the webinar tonight. The workshop recordings, I held a live workshop with a very exclusive set of individuals that wanted to take their business as far as it could go, and I recorded them, and this was about a year ago. And the things that we talked about were article and blogging content strategies. We talked about creating a product launch and how to build that successfully. Talked about crafting the perfect sales letter. I've written sales letters that have made accumulatively maybe $1 million, $2 million worth of sales. And how did I do that exactly? That's in one of the workshops. How do I create social proof? I showed you a bit of that with the share buttons, and how to make it look like that everyone's talking about you on social networking. Also, this is something I touched on a little bit in the webinar tonight, how to get fictional characters to sell for you. Very neat trick. I got a whole entire webinar workshop on that. Also, how to use your own personal situation and your own personal story to sell your products and brand yourself. Also, crafting powerful teleclass and webinar closes. I've got a secret formula of teleclass and webinar closes that literally close webinars and teleclasses at 30% of the audience, and those are in that workshop recording. And also I cover text messaging, SMS text, polling, comment marketing, blogging, all sorts of stuff. And these are all in these recorded workshops. They're really neat. They're easy to watch. A streaming video. That's 24 hours of video recordings and the Q&As that went along with them. Also, I have an offer for the 160-page self-persuasion ebook. Also, 3 hours of over-the-shoulder training videos where I actually screen capture 3 hours of me going through sales letters and opt-ins and websites and dissecting them and ripping them apart and showing you how I would change them, or showing you ones that I wrote and showing you exactly how I did it. Fantastic. It's almost the most important thing in the entire package there. Also, the swipe files. These are emails and promotions that I saved over the last 5 years from some of the biggest names in internet marketing. While the emails came to your email and you might have deleted them, I copy and pasted them into a big folder so I could sort of steal them ideas later, and that's all in the swipe files. So that's 24 hours of recordings, the 3 hours of the over-shoulder training videos, the ebook and the swipe files. It's $700 worth of stuff, big bag of money there, for only $97. That's my offer tonight if you want to work with me. I'll have all of that available to you immediately upon signing up over at expertwebwriting.com. Or you can have 2 payments of $50. I have a few people that used the program in the past that were really happy. I have Richard here that says if you charged twice the price for your program, I'd buy and tell others to buy. You have been outstanding responding to emails and questions, and that is worth everything. Thank you, Richard. Great guy there. Sonia, beautiful Sonia, says thank you so much. You're the best. Can't wait to work together. And also Joanne Dahlketter, one of my favorite people, the Olympic training coach, very famous Olympian training coach, said she said that I'm amazing and she's loving my content. Thank you, Joanne. I'll never forget that. Okay. Well, here's a super bonus. Before you even decide anything tonight, I want to offer you the super bonus, and I even have a second super bonus I want you to hear about. If you want to join tonight over at expertwebwriting.com, join the community, the self-persuasion community, and work with me. I will actually have a one-on-one content critique and editing of your website homepage or a sales letter, any page of your website, your opt-ins, email promotions, social networking, video scripts, direct mail, anything in the world that you have that you want me to edit, critique, and rewrite for you, I will do it. I will be your personal virtual editor for free just by signing up at the Self-Persuasion program at expertwebwriting.com. Now, because I have to wait for everyone to send me their stuff, then I got to look through it, and then I got to edit it, and I got to send a screen capture video, and then I got to possibly rewrite some of this stuff. It takes me a while to do that. I don't want to get too backed up, so I can only take the first 25 people until the next self-persuasion round comes through. So if you want to jump on that, we can get that tonight. It's a $297 bonus, what I normally charge for editing pieces of content for people. So that's 24 hours of recordings, the 3 hours of videos, the ebook, the swipe files, and the one-on-one editing time. And something else I want to throw in, I will exclusively write you a video script for a page of your site, either your home page or your About Me page or sales letter or product page. Whether you have anything up not now or not, whether you've written copy before. In fact, I would persuade you to write to join the program tonight, even if you don't have copy written or you're just new at building a website, so you don't have to rewrite all this stuff and do it wrong and rewrite it again another time. Or if you've been around for years and you want someone to go through and tweak this stuff, I'll do that for you personally one-on-one. And also, I will write you a video script based on your industry that you can use, like a 2-minute video that will have the most effective effect on what you're trying to do in your industry. All of that stuff tonight, $1,000 worth of my time and training, because I really want to help. $97 over at expertwebwriting.com. Simple as that. Go over there, use the PayPal, and get started tonight. And you can send me your stuff whenever you want. I'll wait all year if I have to. It doesn't matter if I promise to critique your content. I'll wait for as long as it takes. So it's no hurry on that. In fact, the longer you wait, the easier it'll be for me to probably get to it, because I usually get kind of swamped. So usually it's a couple days of wait on that anyway. But let's work with this tonight. I would love to have you work with me. I want to again appreciate your time, and thank you for your time for being here. I know you could have done something else more fun, but this means that you want to do good business and you want to good in the world. And really quickly before I get the Q&A, I just want to tell a story that my kid just last year, moved away, went to college, and he doesn't call me anymore for anything. He doesn't call me. He doesn't ask me questions. Every time he has a problem, he doesn't ask me. So I ask him, well, how you doing, son? And he's like, everything's good. Everything's good. Well, look, I know better than that. When he has a problem, I know exactly where he's going. Where is it? He searches online. Whether he's trying to lose weight, whether he has relationship problems with his girlfriend, whether he's trying to get a raise at work, whether he's trying to fix his car, anything. He's searching online for the answers. And you know what? My community, my friends, you out there that are on this webinar tonight are the kinds of people he's getting the answers from. I want us to have the best information possible. I don't want him to fall prey to fluff, salesy stuff, viruses, or any other garbage that's out there that you know is floating around the internet. I want him to get his answers from reasonable and reliable sources of information, which is us here tonight, myself and you as well. So I want to help you create content that changes the hearts and minds of your visitors, where they come and they can help themselves become better people because of the information that you've offered. So please let me work with you tonight. Go over to expertwebwriting.com, sign up for the self-persuasion workshop, and let's sit down and hash out the best content we possibly can with each other. Connie says, I'm in with you even though I'm in Tom's mentee program. I need all the help I can get. Thank you, Connie, for that tonight. I appreciate that. Thank you. I can't wait to work with you. Let's get to the Q&A. If you got a question, pop it in. Greg's got one, and he says, do you think that this type of marketing can be applied to commoditized products in the B2B space, specifically in this case, heavy-duty truck parts? Actually, yes. I really believe, Greg, that a lot of not stealthy kind of stuff. There's no sense in fooling business people, but there's a way to help market things, and I want to discuss something. I didn't talk about it tonight, but I did discuss it in the email today that you may have seen that I sent out this morning for the invitation on the webinar tonight, Greg. And it was about loss and loss aversion and loss prevention. When you talk about gaining, people instantly put up a website, or not a website, people instantly put up a wall of resistance. Whenever you say you can boost profits, and create more business with certain kinds of industry, people instantly put up a slight wall of resistance, no matter what industry that they're in. If you talk about losing something, then it opens up a primal fear that people have about loss of what it could be: time, money, employees, loss of stock options, anything. But just the loss itself, Greg, has a huge effect. So in the business-to-business industry, there's always something that business wants to gain and they're afraid of losing. What are those things? What can you identify about a business-to-business or any kind of industry that you think they're afraid of losing? Could it be market share? Could it be losing to the competition? Could it be losing time? Could it be losing anything? And how do you use the words of loss into the marketing, into the brochures, into the business cards even, and into the information products such as ebooks and downloadable audios that you may use as marketing material? So there's quite a bit going on here that stealth persuasion and emotional content works in the business-to-business industry just as much as it does for information products between a consultant and the regular public. We're not trying to fool people here. We're trying to reach the decision-making elements within the brain that take us from either resistance or feeling there's a need for the product or service. And it doesn't really matter what industry you're in. So I hope that's not a too long-winded of an answer there, Greg, but I appreciate that answer or that question. Get some other questions in if you want. Perdita's saying, is there, see what she's saying. Her question is, yeah, I don't have a website up yet, so does it matter? Should I be somebody taking this thing? Obviously. If you spend all your time writing how you think it may come out, and then you have to go back and change it later, you're wasting what one of the incredible benefits are, is time, your time. You don't want to waste your time. Let's focus on using the benefit identifier formula that I had and start writing your content out right the first time. And So that really helps, especially if you haven't started yet. And let's see. Pam says, what does Pam say? She says she has a question. Okay, Pam is saying, does this work in email? Obviously, yeah. This works in anything. Stealth persuasion isn't just for websites. Content is everywhere. Writing is everywhere. All the way from when we wrote on stone tablets to papyrus to the printing press to the internet. No matter what kind of technology keeps coming, that the world keeps coming up with, the written message has been the standard way of communication here. And if you think back, some of the most persuasive and emotional content was written thousands of years ago. I mean, look at the Bible, look at the Magna Carta, look at all the great tracts that have been written that have persuaded entire revolutions. All right, and we don't have to talk about your website being a revolution, but this is always evergreen, as I call it. Learning to write and be persuasive works in any medium that you have, website, text messaging, any kind of apps. So you know what? I don't keep up with all the apps. I don't know the technology to create everything that they keep coming up with, but I do know that writing real content is something that reaches what will never change, the heart and mind of your visitor. That is a constant, and each new person in life needs your information as if it's the first time they've ever heard it. A friend of mine wanted to write a new book about baby care, and he was actually afraid that there's been too many people already writing about how to raise children, like Dr. Spock, all the way to a whole slew of people today. And I said, well, look at it this way. There's always a brand new couple that just got pregnant, that now it's the first time they've ever cared about child education or how to raise a kid. Before that, they didn't care, but now that they're pregnant, now it's the most important thing in the world. And what they want is the newest and most relevant information. So maybe Dr. Spock might be good, but that's 30, 40 years back. What do you have to offer today that can change the industry? And there's always a brand new target market of people needing that information. So that's something that you can use this for any of your marketing. Brochures, business cards, social networking is very important. How do we engage people to leave comments and build a huge following? How do we get them to almost create our content for us? All these kinds of things are in the Stealth Persuasion program. It's very comprehensive in what we have here. So it's getting kind of late, and I know everyone's busy, so this is a lot later than my usual webinar. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and get them in right now, and I'll answer them right now before we get offline. But if you want to work with me tonight and have the Stealth Persuasion one-on-one editing critique with me, Colin Martin, you can get it right now over at expertwebwriting.com. You don't want to miss that, actually. That's a very powerful way to put out content. Remember, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to fear this. I'll hold your hand and take care of it for you. So if you're on the fence about that tonight, go ahead and give it a try. You can do the 2-payment plan if you'd like. Let me go ahead and get some other questions in here. If there's no more questions, if you have any questions and you don't want to put them in the chat box, you can just write me over at videopower@live.com, and I'll always answer questions. For anyone that was on the webinar or any past webinars or anyone who sees the recording, feel free to send me questions over at videopower@live.com, and I'll answer all your questions. Okay, we'll go ahead and get your questions in before we get out of here tonight. I did this presentation over Saturday at Tom's butt camp in Virginia Beach, and it's only the second time that I'd done the presentation like this live, and it was really neat. But I was really sick with the flu, so again, I can't remember exactly what I said. I hope I didn't say anything stupid, but it was very popular. People kept running up. Here's a question. Robert says, "Is health a benefit?" I think I've had this question before, Robert, and health means you're probably like a nutritionist or something. Okay, you're a vegan homeopathic Nutrition. Okay. Yeah, health. Health isn't really the benefit. I still want you to concentrate on the 8 benefits that I showed earlier. And what it is health is the outcome to the benefits. So the real benefits of good health are freedom and peace of mind. Can you have any time with your family? Can you have any quality time with your family if you don't feel good all the time? Are you able to work and make money? Can you stay focused on your responsibilities, financial and otherwise, if you don't feel good all the time? Health isn't really the benefit you want to stay focused on. Health is the vehicle. The benefits are still the same. Family, time, hope, dreams, prestige. You know, when my health feels really bad and I haven't eaten right and I feel sick like I did the entire month here, I worry about my future. I worry about whether I'm going to be able to travel or have a good time or any of my dreams really coming true or being able to play with my kid without being winded. So always stick, again, with the benefits that I outlined. And it doesn't matter. Health is the vehicle, pretty much like finances or anything else. So health isn't exactly a benefit. It's the tool for good health. So that was a good question, Robert. I appreciate that. Again, I was sick for almost a month. Me and my girlfriend, Vicky, here, we were both sick for a while. She's always sitting here right next to me, my lovely Vicky. And she's been sitting here next to these webinars, putting up with this on this couch for over 2 years now. And I really appreciate it. Say hi, Vicky.
Hello.
Yeah, she's great. She's always sitting here, and love her to death. And she's a dreamboat. And I was sick here, so sick last week, and somebody from another webinar that I did last week said he was going to contact a psychic distant healer in New Jersey to heal me from afar. And I thought, this is great, you know. And he said, just give me word if you want her to do that. She won't do it without your permission. So I wrote the guy and I said, sure, go ahead. And I did that Monday, and I'll be damned, I feel great. I woke up Tuesday, and I was totally healed. I mean, from a horrible, debilitating flu with a fever and aching muscles and not being able to eat for nearly a week, I feel like this is a dream come true. So I was distantly healed from a psychic in New Jersey. So I appreciate that. I can't remember who it was out there. So write me back and tell me that you did that for me, because something happened and I feel really good. And my email address, Tom, is videopower@live.com. I'm going to write that in the box so you guys can see it. If you have any questions about anything, go ahead and write me. I'm going to send this to everyone, videopower@live.com. And yes, I'm going to keep running this self-persuasion workshop a couple more times over the next few weeks, and look out for the webinar replay tomorrow. All right, everybody, I got to get going. So if you have any questions, write me at videopower@live.com. And thank you tonight for being on the webinar. Join me over at the Self-Persuasion Workshop, expertwebwriting.com. Very easy to sign up, and let's start working together to make the world a better place. Here's my vow for 2014, to turn the internet back to a place where information is king. And we would need to get rid of all the salesy stuff and the ads and the fluff and the garbage and the ripoffs and the viruses and the scams, and make the internet a place that really matters to people, where they can solve their problems and get the correct information from people like us. All right, we're going to join hands together tonight, and we're going to make that vow for 2014. And you can help me do that by joining my community over at Self-Persuasion Workshop. All right, you guys have a great night. Finish up the wine and have a great night, and I'll talk to you real soon.